بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه تسليما كثيرا اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد فاتح لما أغلق وخاتم لما سبق الناس الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدر مدار العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And our continuing coverage of the text Idda'tul Mutafahim the Adab al-Muta'allim by Shaykh Muhammad Hassa al-Khadim. In the next section, he discusses prioritizing what we learn and choosing a proper teacher and a proper companion on the path and establishing ourselves on what it is that we learn. ثم قال رحمه الله ابدأ بما احتجت له في حالي في الدين من علم ففي المال وقدم التوحيد بالأدلة إذ أثم المقلد الأجلة. He says, O student, begin with what is presently necessary concerning the deen from knowledge and wealth, and begin with Tawheed, with its proofs, since in this case blind following without proofs is a sin in the next life. This is extremely important for us to understand that the way that we prioritize what we learn in terms of the subjects that we study, that the first thing that takes precedence in our studies is the science of Tawheed. Of course, naturally that we must first learn what to believe about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prophets, alayhum salam, that we must learn what not to believe. In other words, how to believe about them. And the remaining sciences follow this particular science. And this is the foundation of all the remaining sciences, that one must learn first to have a proper aqidah. Secondly, we have to know what is immediately incumbent at that particular time. So when one becomes a Muslim, that you have to know how to obtain tahara in order to pray, because that's the immediate concern. That you have to know the rules of purification, what nullifies purification, so on and so forth. You have to know the time of the prayer, so you can ascertain which time to pray, so you don't pray at a time where it's not permissible to pray. And of course, you have to know the rules of the prayer, so on and so forth, zakat, fasting. At the time of Ramadan, you have to know the rules of fasting. Likewise, he says with your wealth, that you must know what is concerning the deen with the wealth, that this is a condition. Having wealth is the fulfillment of paying zakat or making hajj is conditioned on the fact that one has wealth. So we need to begin to prepare our money, prepare our wealth for the time when we're set out to make hajj, or we are planning at the end of Ramadan to pay our zakat, or to whatever our obligations are concerning our wealth, when we get married, praying for the nafaqah, for maintenance, all of these things that are incumbent upon us that we have to prepare for. So once we take upon an action, we have to have the knowledge, the legal rulings of that particular action. We have to know in detail what they are. Secondly, he says, وَاخْتَرْ خَدِيمَ الْعِلْمِ دُونَ الْمُحْتَفِي وَاخْتَرْ مِنَ الْجَدَلِ مَحْمَ تَبْهَثِ لِجَلْبِهِ عَدَاوَةً لِعَمْرِي وَكَوْنِهِ مُدَيِّعًا لِلْعُمْرِ. And this is extremely important, that he says that also prefer traditional knowledge over modern knowledge. In other words, the knowledge that was established by the Sahaba, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, established by the early scholars in terms of the basic sciences of Aqidah, of fiqh, the sciences of the Quran, the sciences of Hadith. These sciences take preference over new sciences, sciences that were not necessarily studied or learned at that particular time, such as mantiq, the science of logic, the science of philosophy, the science of ilm khilaf. These sciences can take the back seat when it comes to learning the sciences that are more important to know. And he says that وَاحْذَرْ مِنَ الْجَدْلِ مَهْمَ تَبْهَثِ لِجَلْبِهِ عَدَاوَةً لِعُمْرِ, that وَكَوْنِهِ مُدَيِّعًا لِعُمْرِ, that it is incumbent that we leave off argumentation. He says, beware of argumentation where it finds you. That people who want to argue and to debate the issues and to get into these type of discussions that will often split the ummah, will often cause division and ill feelings toward the other person. This is bad adab, and it's not permissible for the student of knowledge to involve himself or herself in these type of activities. So the student must be very careful of wasting his time, because what it amounts to is just a waste of time. And this is what he says, وَكَوْنِهِ مُدَيِّعًا لِعُمْرِ. It just amounts to wasting your time in your life. And there's no benefit in it. Then he says, وَهْوَ مِنْ أَشْرَاتِ أَتَتْ لِلسَّاعَةِ وَرَفْعِ عِلْمِ الْعَوْجِ بَارْتِفَاعًا. He says that this is one of the signs of the last days, that plenty of argumentation and the decreasing of knowledge and the increasing of ignorance, that knowledge will be raised, the raising of knowledge to the heavens. That, and some scholars say that this means that even the pages of the masahif will be lifted from the books, or that knowledge, the people, what people once learned, they'll forget, and people won't know the knowledge that they learned when on the path that they're seeking the truth. So this is one of the signs of the Day of Judgment. So he warns us to refrain from this type of argumentation and this type of ignorant activities. ثم قال أما اختيار شيخ فاختر أعلم أصنع عورا وشر تعلم. He says, as for choosing a teacher, choosing a sheikh, he says, choose the one who's most knowledgeable. Choose the one that is most knowledgeable. Now, this doesn't mean all the time that you're going to have access to the most knowledgeable person in the land. Oftentimes, the big shuyukh don't have a lot of the time to spend and to spend in detail with the student. And we find that sometimes higher level students who are near completion of their studies are often more beneficial, to where they can give us more time and more detail, answer more questions. So the point here is that we seek the person that we seek in order to seek knowledge from should be well established in what he knows or what she knows, and that we can seek benefit from them. They can give us the time, and we have access to them. Then he says, the one who is the oldest. And this is because that usually older shuyukh have wisdom along with their knowledge, whereas younger people usually have knowledge but without wisdom. And so the greater benefit is with those who have both knowledge and wisdom. And he says the one that has the best character, the one who has the most wara, the one who has the most taqwa, the one who we can benefit from watching them. Because when we sit with the shuyukh, we're learning their behavior. We watch their mannerisms. We learn much more than just what's on the pages in the books. And this is the benefit of being in the company of the shuyukh, being in the company of the salihin. And he says that before we seek the teacher on our own, we should seek counsel from other people to find out exactly who these people are. Then he says, وَلَازِمِ الثَّبَاتِ وَالصَّبْرَ عَلَيْهِ حَتَّى تَنَالَ مَا مِنَ الْعِلْمِ الْيَدَيْهِ على الكتاب فاستبر حتى ترى إتمامه فلم يكن بأبترا واصبر على فن فلا تشتغلي بغير ذاك الفن ما لم يكمل. He says that it is necessary. He said it is necessary to secure oneself and be patient with him until one acquires what knowledge he possesses about the book. In other words, that when we find a teacher, be patient with that teacher, stick with that teacher, and try to absorb and to obtain all of what he knows, all of what he's able to teach us about the book, the particular book that we're studying with that person. And to complete the book, there's a very important aspect that we've lost in this age, and that we don't complete books anymore. We study parts of books without studying the book from beginning to end. So he says, be patient, have patience on him. And he says, persevere. So persevere until its completion and do not fall short of this. So this is about the warning about not completing books. Is that when people take parts of books and they leave off other parts of books, this is very dangerous. It's very dangerous. And we become narciss, we become deficient in our understanding. And he says, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى فَنٍ فَلَا تَشْتَغِلِي. And be patient on a particular science. Stick with the science and do not busy yourself in another science if it's not complete. In other words, that when we learn the science of Aqidah, we should learn what we need to know and not move on to something else until we learn what we need to know. We don't have to know every single detail and every single argument or issue about that particular science. But what he means here is that we should know what it is incumbent that we have to know about that science, the core of what it is we need to know, and have patience on that. And he says, وَبَالِدٍ فَالِانْتِقَالِ تَقِلَا تَكُنْ بِلَا دُرُورَةٍ مُنْتَقِلَا إِذَاكَ شَغْلُ قَلْبِي ذِي الْتَعَلُّمِ ضِيَاءُ وَقْتٍ وَأَذَى مُعَلِّمِ. He says, and be patient in the land where you are studying. This is important. Be patient in the land where you are seeking the knowledge. And beware of relocating without necessity. Then at that time the heart would be busy with learning and time wasted, which harms the one seeking to learn. In other words, that where you are learning, where you are studying, stay there and take the benefit there. That when you move from place to place, land to land, then one, you lose time from your studies. Two, your heart becomes busy with other things, moving, relocating, and it's always better to stay and learn and grow where you are. This is the best advice. This is the best advice. And that when you become busy, many times people, they become so busy, they leave off seeking knowledge and they never come back to it. Or there's a long period of time before they return to it. And this is dangerous. So stick with and be patient where you are and what you're doing and who you're studying with, and absorb all of what you can from that person and in that place. ثم قال واصبر عن الذي يريده الهوى فهو الهوان من نقلده هوى. He says that and be patient on what the lower desires incline toward, for it is despicable for whoever follows them. Meaning that we have to have discipline of ourselves, that we all have nafs, shahwa, and hawa, that if we follow our own lower desires, then our path is going to be obstructed. Be careful, he warns us, be careful of following our desires in terms of trying to please other people. Like we mentioned before, getting into circles of argumentation. This is not proper for the student of knowledge. Be patient, be focused, and be disciplined on what it is that we're seeking in order to obtain success. Then he says, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى الْمِحْنَةِ وَالْبَلِيَّةِ تَصِلْ مِنَ الْعُلُومِ لِلْأُمْنِيَّةِ خَزَائِنُ الْمُنَى لَدَى الْأُولَى الْفِتَنِ قَدْ احْتَوَتْ عَلَى الْخَنَاطِيرِ الْمِحَنِ. He says that, and be patient in hardship and tribulation, and stay connected to the knowledge that is the objective. And this is important for all students at the outset, that when you take on the path of seeking knowledge, it is a path of mountains and valleys that go up and down. It's full of obstacles, full of trial and tribulation and tests, and that sometimes it's going to be easy, and other times, many other times, it's going to be difficult. You're going to be tested with your wealth. You're going to be tested with your time, tested with your body, and you have to persevere and be patient and work hard and not to give up. This is very important. Many people, they begin studying and then they stop because it gets difficult. They get busy, they get distracted with other things. To beware from this. Understand the path is a very difficult path, but at the end the reward is so much greater than anything that you can pursue, because the reward is the face of Allah. The reward is what you're seeking, the objective, which is seeking closeness or nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is no other way. There is no faster way to seek nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala other than seeking knowledge in Islam. And he says, خَزَائِنُ الْمُنَى لَدَى الْأُولِي الْفَتَنِ قَدْ احْتَوَتْ عَلَى الْخَنَاطِيرِ الْمَحَنِ. He says that the treasure vaults of desiring to obtain knowledge indeed contains a wealth of hardship. So to this, he reiterates the point, and that in order to obtain the treasures of knowledge, the jewels of knowledge, the great reward is that the path is laden with hardship. But this is what the test is. This is what makes you strong. And we find that many of our teachers, their path to seeking knowledge was, they usually find themselves in very remote, distant places with little food, little material possessions. But these shuyukh, these people make up the greatest people that we can see, because they've been time tested. They have prioritized their lives to where knowledge is number one. Seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through that knowledge is number one. And this is what we should understand. ثم قال قول البليغ لن تنال العلم إلا بستة بهتة علما. He says that the saying of the intelligent one, who said knowledge is not acquired except by 6 things, of which encompass it. And the intelligent one is none other than our Imam Muhammad Idris al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah. He said that in his diwan, he said, أخي لن تنال علم إلا بستة سأنبئك عن مجموعها بالبيان ذكاء وحرص واستبار والبلغة وإرشاد أستاذ وطول الزمان. He said that, my brother, you won't obtain knowledge except by 6 things. So I advise you, I will inform you about what they are. He said intelligence, having intelligence, having the desire, having perseverance, being patient, and being competent, having the guide of a teacher, and having a long period of time to obtain what it is that you're seeking. This is the wisdom of Imam Shafi'i. So he says, قَوْلُ الْبَلِيغِ لَن تَنَالَ الْإِلْمَ إِلَّا بِسِتَّةٍ بِهِهْتَةِ عِلْمَ. That this is what encompasses the path of seeking knowledge. These 6 things, these 6 qualities. Then he says, وَاخْتَرْ شَرِيكًا وَارِعًا مُجِدًّا صاحب تبع مستقيما جدا ومتفهما داعي الكسلان والمفسد المكثار والفتان. He said, and choose a companion. Keep company with the righteous people. Keep company with people who have good character, who are hardworking, and befriend the one who hath a natural upright disposition. This is extremely important for the student of knowledge, that you keep good company. You keep good company. That when in good company, you're going to benefit. You're going to benefit in your knowledge, you're going to benefit in your character. And when you're with bad company, it's going to rub off on you as well. And this is what he says, that keep company with one who has an understanding, a very high understanding of what it is the path of seeking knowledge is about. And the one who leaves off being lazy and excess vain talk and dissension. And that when people talk a lot, they use their tongue, they usually talk about things that have no benefit. So leave off this vain talk, these vain discussions, whether it be on the internet, whether it be around the circles you keep in or around the masjid or around your school or around your workplace even your own family, that you must leave off this type of vain talk that has no benefit, and be firm and be patient on what it is that you're seeking. So this is excellent advice. This is excellent advice. Then he says in the last couple of lines, he says, وَتَتَأَمَّلْ حِكْمَةَ الْفِطِينِ لَا تَسْأَلَنْ إِلَّا عَنِ الْقَرِينِ وَقَوْلُهُ لَا تَسْهَبِ الْكَسْلَانَ فِي هَلَاتِهِ فَفِيهِ حِكْمَةٌ تَفِي. He says, and reflect on the wisdom of those with intelligence, and do not ask unless they are incomparable in their knowledge and wisdom. And that this means that we must take the advice of people who have knowledge and who have intelligence and wisdom. And when we hear what they say to us, even when we read their books, we must take the time to reflect on what they say. Reflect on ourselves. Look in the mirror and find out and truly where we are in terms of our status, in terms of our state, and where we want to go, where we want to be. And that from day to day, you have to seek to improve yourself on what it is that you learn. Every day, day to day, you learn, you grow. And this is over a period of time, this is what makes us successful, inshallah. And he says, وَقَوْلُ لَا تَصْحَبُ الْكَسْلَانَ فِي هَلَاتُهُ فَفِيهِ حِكْمَةٌ تَفِي. He says, and he's saying that do not befriend the one who is lazy in his state is sufficient as a wisdom. And that this goes to the company that we keep. If we keep company with people who are lazy people who sit and they accomplish nothing, and we keep their company, then we too will accomplish nothing. And that we have to be with people who are hardworking, mujtahidun, that they consistently seeking knowledge. They're always talking about knowledge. They're always asking about knowledge. This is the type of circles that we need to keep, not the ones that's going to lead us astray and lead us down the path where we're going to go away from Allah and not toward Him. So inshallah, we ask Allah that Allah make us from the people of knowledge and increase us in our understanding and what we know. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi tasliman kathira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.